focus on the person, not the condition. That can be a little tricky, especially when there are certain scenarios that might actually be unhealthy for both parties to be involved in. And if one person is seen as though they're about to get violent or cause harm in any way due to their mental illness, it can be a challenge to really be there for that person. So, one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about today is the impact of words and how we view individuals with mental illness and how we term mental health challenges um, in our vocabulary throughout time. I won't go back too far, obviously, and I won't go too in depth because, of course, this is only about a 7 to 10 minute mini session that I'm doing with you. Like all my videos, they're very, very short, just to give you an idea and get your thoughts going on issues that may be of concern depending on what the topic is. Now, mental health, focusing on the person, not the condition, is, as I said before, very tricky. Words related to mental illness, such as crazy, deranged, insane, lunatic, mad, mental disorder, even the word mental illness, depending on what the intention of the word means in a phrase or a sentence, can come across in a particular way that doesn't promote that individual feeling as though he or she is being heard or seen. And last but not least, psychopathy. Psychopathy is a word that's consistently used in psychiatry, psychology, to look at the various ranges of mental illness because there are varying kinds or ways in which the mind associates or interacts with society, whether it's with themselves or with those around them. And if they're experiencing any challenges in how they view reality, how they view themselves, that may cause a detriment to how consistently focused or consistently clear that individual is in how they are interacting, it can be a challenge. Anyway, psychopathy in general is a whole other version of this very topic that I'm talking about. So I won't go too in depth with that. So these are all terms describing people with mental health issues that have evolved over time, as I mentioned earlier. Words can have a very powerful effect on how we view people with mental health challenges and or addictions. And it can be seen as nurturing or it can be seen as detrimental to the progress of that person's well-being. What we say can promote acceptance in society. What we say can promote inclusion and keep people on the margins of society in an opposite direction if we choose words that actually turn people against that individual or rather exclude that person overall. So we have to really, really, really watch our words. And it's tricky. I've been in mental health for a long time now. My business, 20 years. My interest has always been in mental health from the beginning. And ways in which I go about that, of course, you've seen some of it in brief with my talks here on my post and my page, as well as how I've interacted with people in person when my center was open. Now that my center is closed, it's primarily online or by phone. Now, the list of people who are comfortable with talking about their private situation online or in a non-human contact way, face to face, is challenging at this time because a lot of people want to keep their privacy private, right? Their private issues private. And sometimes it's difficult for folks who are experiencing mental challenges to reach out for help. Now, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Now that we're all going through this COVID experience, we're all experiencing some element of what mental health challenges can look like for each and every one of us. It will be different. And I want to say hello to those of you who are listening right now. You're just joining in. But I want to say this for sure, that no one is immune to going through a mental health challenge. The degree to which you experience it may have something to do with your biology, or it may have something to do with the type of challenge that you're experiencing in your life over a long period of time, or the impact or trauma of an experience. However, each and every one of us experience it at some point in our life where we don't exactly feel like ourselves. And that's a term you hear sometimes when someone's experiencing sort of a shift out of their normalcy, quote unquote normalcy, and they're going into a change pattern that they don't understand quite yet. And we all experience that, and we might all label it differently, but in essence, it's a change. It's a challenge with coping with change, however extreme or detrimental it can be for some folks, especially now. The crisis has really opened up a way in which we are all experiencing some element of that. And the old pattern, the old ways of handling mental health doesn't work for everybody. And so if you're finding that you're practicing your old methods and it's not really helping you, it might have something to do with a cacophony of so many things going on. And so it's important for you to find someone who knows how to specialize in you. So a generalized approach does not work, okay? And it's important for you not to fall through the cracks, find the help that you need, and not be ashamed reaching out for help. Now, there are some folks who can overcome these challenges and create that momentum of consistency that looks as though they're just so invincible to all of this going around. To some extent, you could say that. However, it may not be the case for all. And the individual who's being challenged but doesn't reach out for help because they need to be that person in their family where they have to always be there, always have to have a stiff upper lip, they can sometimes be the individual who you need to turn to and ask them more than once per day if they're okay. Take some of the burdens off their plate, so to speak, so that they can find time to recoup from what they're experiencing and what's been impacting the family. So often, the strong person in the family is the person who everyone needs to circle around and just show support, whether they ask for it or not. And it's not about pointing a finger and saying, oh, you're just showing that weakness and we can't stand it when you show that because we need you to be there for us. It's not about being, it's not about shaming or downplaying their strength. No, not at all. Just ask them if they need any help. And if they say no, just say, hey, I noticed this is happening over here. I can take care of it. You go ahead and do that for yourself this afternoon or something like that. And I know I'm going off into a little scenario and a storyline here of a particular case, but you know what I mean. I'm showing this as an example of how you can alleviate someone's private suffering with trying to be everything to everybody in a time when you just can't be right now, okay? These are not normal times. So allow yourself not to fall through the cracks. However strong you may think you are or however vulnerable you feel you are, either way, do not fall through the cracks. That's really important. Okay, going back to the main thrust of my talk here, focus on the person, not the condition. That gives you an indication of what I'm talking about. Focus on the person. You may not notice that someone's experiencing a suffering with mental health concerns or issues or challenges because we tend to get so focused on our own concerns and our own issues that we forget that someone in our family might be suffering from mental health challenges. So please remember that. Now, going back to words can be powerful. The words you use to describe mental health are so important. and it can help to reduce how we view mental health, um, and how we look at illness in general. So choose your words carefully. Um, Focus again on the person and not the condition. So, with that said, let's see if we can continue to get some focus on this. I know that everyone's saying, oh, geez, I just want to go back to normal. Well, you know, change comes about, and we're going through a sense of creating a normalcy with what we're all experiencing. So it's about now finding new ways of coping with something that we don't understand. So if this video helps you at all, please let me know. Give it a thumbs up or a smile or whatever it is that that makes you feel comfortable, showing that this is a video that has helped you to see something different, or that you like, or that you want to share with someone. Please let me know down below. I would really love to see your energetic support. So your thumbs up and your smiles are energetic support, seeing as how I don't charge for these mini videos. But of course, my classroom settings online are monetized, and it's important for you to get a little snippet of encouragements once a week, which is why I still continue to do the Self-Care Wednesdays with you, now going on 4 years. And yes, again, these short videos are for free. So if you'd like to support me in other ways, please let me know. Give me a shout. You may have already received my my message link. Notice that, find that out. You can click on it here on the page and send me a message to let me know what some of the ways you would like some assistance, and how by noticing my videos online and giving it a thumbs up, showing me energetically supporting that way, and or finding out about upcoming classes that are coming about that you can also support as a part of this process. In any case, I think I've said enough here. All right, this is a little bit lengthier than I thought, but I think it was important to mention some of the points that I mentioned here. Okay, so again, to summarize overall, this talk was about mental health, focused on the person, not the condition, and we talked about the ways in which words related to mental illness, mental health, and challenges and issues, and how the words that we choose can include or exclude individuals. And finally, to underline and reiterate and focus again on the person. All right, that said, I think that's all I need to say. Enjoy your day. Namaste.